bringing the people behind our food to life.
My family's from northern Italy. My dad was born there, my grandparents and all that. Our family was for all practical purposes, a subsistence farming family. So food was very important, but they had a culture of a very highly evolved culture with cured meats and cheeses and pastas and all kinds of cool stuff. And that's what they brought to the United States with them. And here they were in New York City, but their culture was that of the farm, and so the representation of it was the food. So I think the passion about the food is almost exaggerated for people that come here because it's their main connection, you know. So I was brought up in that environment where Sunday dinners were with, you know, 20 people around a big table and all the cousins and aunts and uncles, and who made this pasta, who made that. My uncle, the butcher, would bring the veal or the special sausage he made or whatever. And as a kid, that was the biggest deal going, you know. It was very exciting. This is our little 5-acre food oasis over here. I always just gravitated towards agriculture, and I had a garden when I was 7, and you know, so I've always been involved in growing things, and of course, when you realize you can grow stuff that tastes really good, you know, you do it. My day job, which I love, I have a vineyard and a winery, which is right behind me, and we farm 275 acres roughly of wine grapes, and we make wine under the Montanore Estate label and sell it all over the country. The Montanore name is the old name, the original name of the ranch. And the ranch was started 100 years ago by a fellow that moved from Montana into Oregon for a job, and so this place reminded him of Montana, so it's Montana in Oregon. So that's the old name, and when they started the winery in 1982, they took the old ranch name and named the vineyards after it. I've been making these cured meats and cheeses. This is a nice cheese. Nice and tight. It's probably 18 months old. This would be a good one. See? People keep saying, you know, would you show me how? Would you show me how? We'll give it a try. And I got to realizing there's a lot of interest. This is my cheese shop. The purpose of what we do is just to have the kind of food we like, because either you can't find it or you have to pay a whole lot of money for what some people call artisan food. I just call it good farmhouse food. It makes it so it gets a little more
workable.
And lighter, actually. This past year, I divided off a part of the barn and rigged it up with a stove and tables and running water and whatnot. And so it made a space where we could just get creative with food. And it's kind of like if you build it, they will come. You know, that's what's happened. We're making things that we can from the resources that are local. So we're making different kinds of cheeses. And that depends on the time of year and what the cows are eating. No, it just sort of separated in the middle a little bit, but it's, I don't know why. It smells good. We're making the different cured meats, which I do predominantly in the wintertime because the ambient temperature is my refrigerator. But it's nothing more exotic than that, just good food. You'd snip it off and then you'd pour it out. Every Wednesday we're doing something here, you know, and imagine once the tomatoes are ripe, we'll be doing our canning out there and, you know, baking pies or whatever. So it's become kind of a nice little community food center in a very unofficial way, but every Wednesday night we have a fun dinner and meet with friends and do something fun. I think on a larger scale, what's happening in the United States now is that people are appreciating where their food comes from. They're starting to understand that, it doesn't grow on the grocery store shelf, and they see it beyond the fresh ingredients, back to the farmer, back to the place where it's grown. I can only speak for Italy or France or those places where I've spent a lot of time. There's that appreciation for the source and the people that make it, and what makes it, that concept of terroir. They know that the turnips here taste different than the turnips there or whatever. And when that appreciation of the source of the food expands in the United States, I think our cuisine is going to evolve along with it, and that'll be a great day for the United States. And then as a cheesemaker, it's your skill in converting that into the style you want it. But it's all about the milk. You just can't go to the grocery store and buy some milk and expect to make really great cheese.